Everybody, thanks for joining us. We're here tonight talking about the new Benchmade 5370 FE Shootout, brand new OTF and crewwear. Let's unbox it.
Releases April 21st.
There you go.
Knife chop. Do you want me to unbox it?
Yeah, you go for it.
No,
No, you
I'll
go for it, man.
unbox it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Break it open.
It's not like an Apple box. They fail that standard. Don't even have stuff in the top.
Nope.
How's this supposed to be a primo experience?
Well, the knife itself is a premium experience, Dakota. Look at that.
Woohoo! All right. So first off is CF Elite.
Yes.
Almost entire
Elite.
CF Elite chassis.
Only 4 screws holding it together.
So even this guy's got your,
Yeah,
aluminum.
that's kind of what I was about to mention. Is
Yeah.
even this one has a center aluminum chassis.
And that is why it's so goddamn light. You know what I mean? Thing that weighs nothing.
It is
Oh,
incredibly light. In fact, I don't know what the actual weight is on it. Hold on.
The,
cheat sheet back here.
The grip they have in here is like, it'll take your calluses right off. Your hand's not slipping on that. Have you felt that?
Yeah, I have. I was playing with it earlier today.
Grippy.
This is 2.8 ounces.
I mean, they really got in everywhere, like the skeletonized button.
Yeah.
They really.
I mean,
took out everything.
every little piece of they
Yeah.
could, but looks like aluminum housing for the glass breaker here in the back.
I feel like you gotta.
Yeah.
It's gotta be, right?
I wonder if it's an aluminum skeletonized frame inside with CF Elite shell.
You know, it would have been nice to have it apart and or even Rockwell it beforehand, but it wasn't in the cards today. We just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
But so we brought out a bunch of other Benchmade out the front so you can kind of get an idea of size-wise what you're dealing with. I mean, not all that dissimilar from the Phaeton. I mean, it's definitely got a more substantial blade than anything else. Reminds me a lot of the Bailout blade. Even in overall length and size, it might be a little.
I don't know if the Tontos is pronounced on this as it is on the Bailout.
Yeah, that could be.
Because that's a sudden whoosh.
Well, Benchmade's part numbers. That's why it's the 5370.
Oh, so the 537
exactly.
is the Bailout.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the Shootout's just their kind of auto
Okay.
iteration of it.
I didn't even put that together.
I'm going to bail
until you
myself
said
out, and then we're going to have a shootout. Okay.
I love the Phaeton, but this is, I think, a better size. This is just a little small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, the blade's a little small.
I mean, you could hear it when you dropped it there. One of the reasons I don't like it.
It's
it's
plasticky. There's no getting around that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, look at the price point you're looking at too.
Yeah.
These are going to be $270 when they come out, versus $360, $450, $420,
$23.
$423.
Yeah, $423.
$423. I didn't check.
And steel crewwear. I would take that over anything else on the
crewwear,
table.
yeah, versus S30, and D2.
Yeah.
Crewwear is basically D2 on steroids.
Yeah,
'cause it is a tool steel.
Also, I like FDE.
Yeah, that's true. So by far the best steel on the table at the best price. I've always kind of felt the same way about this, is that it's a little on the small. Even back when it was still the Tumult.
Yeah.
I always thought I really liked it, but it's almost the exact same size and form factor as an Ultratech.
Yeah.
But the blade is just
the blade's a little
just that much smaller.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason I didn't like the Tumult. But always very reliable, always very well built, always very, very useful design, but a little on the small side for me.
I'm impressed that they're able to, whenever you look at out the fronts, quality out the fronts, there's always at least 5 screws holding the whole thing together, because you need something in the center to keep rigidity, you see what I mean? Something to keep it from arcing.
They all have it. All Microtechs do too.
No, this doesn't.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Now CF Elite's pretty rigid, but it's what'd you say?
Carbon fiber infused or carbon fiber infused nylon.
Yeah.
is basically how it's described.
So it's fiberglass on steroids.
I mean, I would guess so. Yeah, without knowing more about it.
It is pretty noticeable too. Like if you have a bug out in gribbery, there's a noticeable amount more flex versus the CF Elite
There is.
models.
Yeah.
It definitely has
I'm just
gives you a little bit
kind
there.
of curious, because there's you can see the seams, but they don't apart away from each other, it makes me feel like when they click it together, it's got clamshell clasps or something.
Something to keep it, like you'd almost have to take the screws out and then slide it and pop it off or something.
Yeah, there has to be something like that to hold it together. Otherwise, there has to be an aluminum chassis of some sort in there.
Well, the thinking behind this knife was it's a backup. It's a quick deployment backup that's supposed to be real easy to get to. Like when you get an adrenaline dump, you lose your fine motor skills, but you're supposed to still be able to. That their hope was that that would still be an easy deployable knife in a high stress situation. And we talked about this earlier too. Truly ambidextrous.
Yeah.
So if you look down the barrel of it, it is a centered blade, which they seem to make not them necessarily, not Benchmade specifically, but a lot of people seem to make a big deal out of that online. But you look up the Autocrat, and it's the same story, and not everybody's screaming about how great it is that it's got a centered blade on and out the front. Because although it's not a common feature, I guess if you're really into, if you're one of those guys that every knife you have has to be perfectly centered when you close every folder, it might be something that you're into. I mean, the balance would be there, and I mean, it does make it truly almost 100% ambidextrous.
It almost looks like they inlaid like steel sleeves for the screws.
Oh, they probably did.
Yeah.
So the CF Elite isn't.
That's a common thing. Well, I've seen it in G10 a lot. Like,
yeah, no, those are inlaid.
ZT would do that a lot.
You see it on like everything Grivery too. Like
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, they used to do that in the barrages way back in the day, but then the plastic was giving way, and so then they changed the design on the barrage, and now it screws into the liner instead.
Yeah.
Which I think makes a much stronger design, but I've never seen any issues with that design aside from the barrage. It was only the barrage I saw it with, so it might have been just like an odd stress point, the way people were running into stuff with their clip, that was kind of causing that problem. But I'm interested to see how the strength would hold up, because it
does flex a little bit.
You can squeeze it if you really want to, but that almost reminds me of like the texturing you'd have on your Glock frame. You know what I mean? Like that kind of.
Sure.
It kind of. Probably bad analogy. It reminds me of like decks on a boat. They paint it with that super high textured sand stuff. If you go spilling, you're taking skin off.
Yeah, like
you won't fall overboard.
They make that for like deck paint. Where you roll out that deck paint, and it's like
you're not falling.
Yeah, you run around on it. If your kids run around with bare feet, they're gonna have bloody feet.
Yeah, you fall on it, no skin left.
Yeah, that kind of.
But you got grip, and it really feels like that. I guess like you're shaking. There it is.
Yeah.
And the first time I picked that up, I was really not impressed with like the weight and the feel. But the more I handle it, especially next to these, I kind of like it.
Well, and that's one thing about Benchmade's out the fronts is their reliability.
Yeah.
They're probably the most reliable out the fronts we've sold. I mean, we don't have to work on them very often, aside from the regular maintenance of cleaning pocket lint and trash out of them, you know. But other than that, like, they don't really need tune-ups very often. So I'm interested to see how this will hold up reliability-wise. I do like that they went with a standardized clip. And didn't go with a specialized clip.
You notice that?
What, the gap?
The gap. There's a big old gap there that's not on the other one.
Because they have a sharpening cut.
Ah.
So if you take it off track, come on. If you take it off track,
fills that space.
Yeah, it basically fills that space. It doesn't really have a lot.
I just noticed on the other ones they have sharpening cut too, but they make sure that the ass end of the blade comes out.
Oh
more.
yeah. The anchor point of the blade, normally you can see it in
I
there.
wonder if they did that to save on cost, to make it a little bit less expensive.
Well,
every quarter ounce you take off is how much in savings with the steel.
Well, I imagine not only do you save cost, but you also save weight.
Yeah, I think I would imagine.
And then, I mean, when you're trying to, every little gram counts. I mean, look at the bug out, I mean, that is getting as light as you can. I mean, with even went to a titanium access lock, just to even save that much more little weight,
I mean, it's snappy. It opens a lot. I don't know, like all the other knives, they open, but they're like, It's like watching a Bentley or a Jaguar take off. It's like a procession. It'll get there, and it's got the power, but it's going to regally get there.
It's like when there's two semis that are at the front of a green light. It's just a drag race between two glaciers.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like these have the power and they get there, but they just kind of like, we'll open, we'll accelerate. This one's bam.
I mean, that's always kind of been the infidel. Like it's not the snappiest, but it's reliable.
Yeah,
it gets there. Also, what do we say? Did we mention the rock? They claim the Rockwell on this is 51 to 63 on the crew wear, or 63 to 65.
Yeah,
63 to 65.
51 to 63. That's a huge.
Oh no,
gap.
I meant 61 to 63.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, 60. So 63 to 65.
Yeah.
Which is those are nice numbers. That's really impressive.
If that's accurate, that crew is going to do some good work for sure.
Yeah. I really wish I would have had a chance to Rockwell it to check, but.
Well, I mean, we can always do a part due.
Part due.
We can call it the due diligence.
I
I mean, overall, just initial impressions on this, I really like it. And I don't know, unless we get another teal Ultratech in, I might pick this up.
Teal?
It's got to be teal.
All right. I guess no one's going to steal your teal knife.
No, it's really hard to do that.
Do they have other color combinations?
Not yet.
And I haven't seen any.
I bet they will.
I was going to say, I asked you because I figured if anybody's going to know.
Yeah.
I think the model number ends in CF, so I'm assuming.
No,
they'll
ends
have
in
other
FE.
ones. Oh, FE?
Yeah.
What does FE stand
Flat
for?
E, flat Earth, flat dark Earth. It's FDE, FE.
Okay, so then it's the standard.
So I'm
model.
sure there'll be a BK. I'm
Yeah.
sure there'll be a,
BK would be cool if I just blacked it out.
Yeah, just all blacked out.
Yeah.
I
Although
wanna see-
I do like the FE
like it
blade.
too.
I like that
it
they're
too.
branching out in different blade colors.
Yeah.
I'd like to see like a dash one with a speed hole skeletonized aluminum frame.
You want to just take this upstairs and drill holes in it?
I mean, it's already light. Let's take a few grams off.
I feel like a OTF with speed holes is a terrible idea.
You could have speed holes, and then you could use like some sort of polymer see-through plexiglass, but nicer.
Oh, we
Yeah,
have
you have
we have
to-
casting resin. You can just
There you
fill
go.
it up with casting
Yeah.
resin.
And then it's a fixed blade, right?
Oh, not the whole thing. I
Yes.
might just fill the holes with casting resin. So you like window the chassis and then just put a clear window on there, so you can see the internals. Like a N64 controller back in the day.
Yeah, the clearance.
Yeah.
We should make a
Or my little
blurple.
Game Boy Color.
Can we make a blurple one? We should make a blurple one.
Oh God.
Do we have the technology?
And we have
Well,
to,
yeah, I mean, it's just the time is all you really need. You can make anything you want if you got unlimited time.
All right.
so positive. We like it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be quite reliable, and at
Yeah.
that price point with that steel, I think
Yeah.
it is a great alternative.
And
Yeah.
they're just coming in just a hair under the Ultratech.
I know,
I wonder
man.
if that was on purpose.
Well, so the cheapest Ultratech is
Yeah.
$296.
Yeah.
And so this is, I mean, they are $25 under that
Crew wear.
Ultratech,
Yeah, and that's
but
what
I
we
mean,
want right
well,
now.
yeah, and that's Rockwelling higher than the M390 that you sometimes get in the Ultratechs.
Anyone else notice it says U.S. manufactured
Yep.
right there?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that now? Is it because it's a
don't know.
plastic handle and they want to make it clear it's not something they sourced overseas?
I mean, I don't know. You know, it's hard to say why they would do that because
Yeah.
it's not part of their.
Do they do the casting in-house or do they have a... Because this
don't
is
know.
extremely specialized.
Yeah, I would imagine they do it in house. I mean, they do.
Just about everything in house.
Yeah, there's like Cerakote that they don't do, and that is, I think, about it that I'm aware
Which
of.
is funny because they could just
Yeah.
drive down and get certified and
Yeah,
build
I
a.
know.
They could build a better setup than we
Yeah.
have. And
It's probably cheaper just to outsource it.
There's a place in Oregon City that they have do it. I don't know
Yeah.
the details, but yeah, it's like right down the street from the factory.
I can't imagine there's any way it would be cheaper to outsource it than it would be in-house it. It is so cheap to
Yeah.
in-house Cerakoting. I mean, that's the reason we in-house Cerakote.
Yeah.
It's because it is just, I mean, we didn't want to have to charge an extra $50 per knife because we're outsourcing Cerakote. You know, so we insource it. Is that even the word, insource it?
It is now.
All right, we in-house it. That's what I was looking for. Now, we in-house it, and instead the price of the knife goes up, $10, $15
Yeah.
instead of going up
What's the
50.
What's the opposite of excising a demon? Like
Incising it?
summoning
No,
it?
wait, it's possession.
Yeah. So you like to have possession of Cerakote?
Yeah. We're possessed by Cerakote.
Yeah.
Oh,
The spirit flows freely through us. I will have to do research on this because I'm actually really curious if they do their own plastic injection molding because that that'd be a huge goddamn facility.
Well, I mean, how
This-
many
No.
knives they got now with CF Elite? They've got at least
Yeah,
5 models with
yeah.
CF Elite.
Well-
At a certain point, it's gonna tip the scales in. We're spending so much to
It's-
outsource it, we
yeah.
might as well insource it.
it
Because
is a copyrighted name too, so we could look it up and see who holds it.
yeah, and well, because I mean, at a certain point, you do so much of it that. I mean, you're just spending way more than it would be. Because the
yeah.
facility, I mean, building our Cerakote facility was, it's a one-time expense. And after, then you're done, And especially if you don't do it like an idiot, you can really do it for a good price.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think it's a win. Everyone
Yeah,
should be
for
excited
sure.
for it. You get a solid choice in blade steel. You don't have to shop around for the right blade steel out of your OTF because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can deal with real customer service.
I really am anxious to see customer reactions to this knife, especially when we put it up against the Hogues, put it up against the Bokers, put it up against, the Microtechs, obviously. I really, really am interested to see how it stacks up.
I think it's gonna do okay.
I think that crewware is what's going to sell it.
Yeah.
At that price,
what I
at that
think?
steel.
I think it's going to make the cut.
Oh,
There we go.
All right.
boo. Like and subscribe.